So, good evening, all. And in this session of Knowledge, we will have with us Dr. Devbrat Mitra. So, uh, before I start the session, I want to share my slide. Sir, can you see my slide?
Yes, yes, I can see your slide.
So, on today's platform, we will have Devras sir, and he has been an inspiration to me, and I'm sure that many of you would be inspired by his way of teaching, the pedagogical style that he has, and his proactive nature that is always visible in the campus. And it has been altogether more than 25 years since I left JVA. Not really 25 years, but 23 years, because we were the first batch to have this co-educational +2 program that started in the school in way back in 95. And if I'm not wrong, sir joined in 1993, JVA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great memories, Ranjit. Great memories.
So as a student and
Yes,
then
93.
yeah, as a student and then as a career as a teacher and vice principal, I have always admired all his moves because uh, he was someone whom we can relate to, both as a, it seems like an elder brother or also like a teacher and one whom you like to be like. So in short, if I say, he epitomizes the spirit embedded in the motto of the school, that is in veritate et caritate and parhit dharma. Why I say so is because the topic that we will be having today is by the Javiers, for the Javiers, of the Javiers. And the reason why I say this is because Devrat sir is a product of Javier. So he is trained by the Javiers, and then he is hired for the Javiers, and he has done all his service. So he is more of the Javiers. So it has been 3 decades almost, if I'm not wrong, of teaching at Javiers, and his association is far much beyond the teaching. And being a vice principal, he has been a student there. So today, my idea is to talk to him about what he is not uh, beyond the classroom. So we will go beyond the classroom, try to learn from his life, his inspiration, उनकी जीवन परिचय कैसी है, उनकी प्रेरणा स्रोत कौन कौन रहे, और उनकी जो ये जो रोलर कोस्टर राइड रही या एजुकेशनल ओडिसी रही लाइफ टाइम की, जिसमें फ्रॉम बीइंग ए स्टूडेंट टू बिकमिंग अ वाइस प्रिंसिपल, and all though carrying one thing in the heart, that is Javius. So being a true Xaverian. So we'll take this up. But today is also International Mother's Day. So I would like to start the program by reciting a poetry of my own, and it's based on the line that I took from Bhavani Astakam, which say, Gatistvam Tamaika Bhavani. अपनी सदगति माँ तुम्हारे ही शरण में, दीप एक जलता रहे उस अंतःकरण में, फिर पुनः भटकने की गुंजाइश न रहेगी, मस्तिष्क से एक गंगा हृदय तक बहेगी, तुम ही शक्ति स्वरूपा, विद्या हो धन हो, तरंग ऊर्जा की वो अणु हो वो कण हो, जो भी रिश्ते नाते हैं तुम सर्वोपरि हो, कोई साथ हो ना हो, तुम हमेशा खड़ी हो. तो for all the mothers, and uh, uh, I would like to dedicate this poetry to them and to all the ladies, to all the women who women I who who are the source of the power. So उस शक्ति को मेरा नमन है आज के दिन, और मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहता हूं डॉक्टर देवव्रत मित्रा को. He is a master's. Followed by that, he has done his B.Ed and PhD. And as I said, that he's joined St. Xavier's in 1993. And he has been vice principal since 2013. So it has been almost, it's going to be a decade now of being a vice principal and administrator also. So before I like to invite him, this week we also had the birth uh, uh, anniversary celebration of Dr. Ravindranath Tagore. So I take a quote from there. So it is simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple. That's what Ravindranath Tagore says कि आनंद का अनुभव जीवन में है सहज सरल, पर सरल व्यक्तित्व का होना आसान नहीं है. ये बात है अजीब पर है सोले आने सच, कि भूत और भविष्य है पर वर्तमान नहीं है. तो ऐसे ही एक सरल व्यक्तित्व के धनी और हमारे मार्गदर्शक, हमारे शिक्षक, हमारे मित्र और हमारे भाई देवव्रत मित्रा आज हमारे साथ हैं. स्वागत है देवव्रत सर आपका. यहाँ पे मैं अपने शेयरिंग को विराम दूंगा और स्वागत करूंगा आपको आज के प्रोग्राम में. नमस्कार.
Namaskar. Ranjit, I'm thankful to you for inviting me for this program.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
It it's all
as
my
you
pleasure.
said,
Yeah.
as you said that today is the International Mother's Day.
Yes.
I was really very touched by your beginning with that poem that you narrated, your self-composed poem.
Yes.
It is truly said that we have not seen gods and goddesses on earth, but our parents, our mother and our father, basically the mother, is the god or the goddess for us, because they are the ones who have shown us the role of religion and worship. और ये कहना अतिशयोक्ति नहीं होगी कि माँ के आंचल में जो सुख है वो सुख शायद दुनिया के कोई भी चीज आपको नहीं दे सकती. So I bow down to all the mothers and all the ladies on this earth for bringing and continuing the species of human race on this earth. So my salute to all the mothers on this International Mother's Day.
Thank you.
As you stated that it was a nostalgia when you asked me to roll down back the steps that I have climbed so far in these years of my experience of teaching and being a student and then being an administrator of an alma mater to whom I owe a lot. If I try to recollect, if I roll down, if I look back to the pages of my life, it has been with various ups and downs. But we have learned a lot in these years and gains a lot of experience. Obviously, every child begins his or her educational career from a play school. Unfortunately, in our time, there were no play schools. But I won't consider it to be unfortunate because we had more time to spend with our parents then than at the present juncture. आज के दिन में 2 साल 2.5 साल के बच्चे हुए नहीं कि उसको प्ले स्कूल में डाल दो या फिर कोई किंडरगार्टन में डाल दो. So there is a lot of pressure in the present generation. Fortunate for us that we didn't have that play school. So we started our schooling from the primary classes at the age of say 4.5 and so. And for every Xaverian in those days, the first school was Carmel School, Mount Carmel. Yeah. So in my time or before that, before being a Xaverian, they were all Carmelites because St. Xavier's started their education from standard 2. So I because my father was a forest officer and we had got a government quartered in the forest colony near that Carmel school. Yeah. So that was it was a blessing in disguise that I can move from my residence and get into the school, walk into it. So we started our education there. Myself and my sister both were going to that Carmel school. And then after that, I joined in St. Xavier's as in standard 2. It was very unfortunate for me that I lost my father when I was in standard 3. But the amount of care, the love, the affection and the fatherly touch of the fathers then made me stay in that institution, and I owe a lot to that. People say the school to be a second home, but for me, St. Xavier's has been the first home. My entire life, if you see, has been within the campus of St. Xavier's, barring the duration when I went out for my +2 and graduation and masters. I'd always been in St. Xavier's. Uh, so if I roll back, it has been a 40 years of association of my 50 years of my life. Uh, so I have been 40 years in St. Xavier's. So uh, starting from 1976, when I was in standard 2, to 1985, when I wrote my 10th standard examination. There were lots of changes that came in St. Xavier's during that period of time. Uh, to begin with, it was a uh, ICSE school when I joined in, and it became a CBSE school when I was in class 9. So we were the second batch of CBSE from St. Xavier's. Now, as I said, that the fatherly touch that I got from the then principal, the first principal was Father Jones, who just passed away a few weeks back uh, in this pandemic situation. Then the battle was passed on to Father Slattery. Then came Father Dwyer. So the entire schooling was under the leadership of Father Dwyer. So he always used to call and ask me, "How are you doing, son?" and whatnot. But I cannot forget my mentor, my ever guide, my support, and a fatherly figure of Father Phil Hosking. I consider myself to be a part of St. Xavier's today, it is because of his motivation, his encouragement. And he said, "I see a teacher in you," motivated me to join St. Xavier's. As I mentioned that my father was a forest officer. So I had all the inclination to become a forest officer, because it is by default that when children see their parents in certain profession, they think that this is the best. So I wanted to be a forest officer, but I don't have any regrets, because if I had been a forest officer, I would have been one.
Yes.
But today, to my credit, if I say to my credit, I have 3 of them. So if I can produce more, I will not be surprised. So uh, after I moved out of St. Xavier's, in fact, I never left out of St. Xavier's, because I had been bitten by a bug called the bug for reading books. And the books of that time were very costly. It was not affordable. I was financially not that strong to purchase those books. So I used to go and visit Father Hosking in his residence after the school hours. So he would take me to the Jesuit library. I may say that I was fortunate enough that, not being a Jesuit, I was allowed to get into the Jesuit library and borrow books from there, because I love to read those Robin Cook's science fictions. I don't know whether I had a scientific bent of mind or not, but I was really uh, an addict of those Robin Cook books. So I borrowed them, I read them, I returned. In the meantime, what happened, there was a sister called Sister Salom, who has to, for some good reason, leave the school and go back to Kerala. I was doing my graduation at that point of time. So Father Hosking said, "Son, could you help me?" What way, Father? Could you teach chemistry to class 9 and 10 students? If I'm not wrong, that was the year 91, 92. That was the time. So I said, "Okay, Father, I'll try." So I went and I taught some chemistry to those 9th and 10th standard students, because I was also pretty young at that point of time. Uh, the students did not take me as their teacher, they took me as their mentor and guide and a friend. So I really cherished that. those days because I was very friendly with those students, and I really appreciate their warm welcoming. And they said that you continue to teach because you are teaching so well, uh, and that gave me a booster that I can do this. So I taught them some chemistry for a year or so. And in the meantime, I also did my graduation. I completed my graduation in science. I was doing measuring and botany honors. So I did my botany honors and I completed. And I was planning for my higher studies of MSc. At that point of time, Father Hosking comes and says, "Son, we have evaluated you and we have found that you can do this profession well if you are interested." Uh, Truly speaking, at that point of time, I was not very keen on joining teaching as a profession because I had seen the luxury of my father's being a forest officer. So I wanted to be one of them. So I came home and I told my mother that father has asked me to think of this career. They said, "Why not? You can obviously think of." So I went back to Father Hosking and said, "Okay, Father, I would love to take this as a profession." Remember, I thought of taking it as a profession, and I took it as a profession. So he said, "You then go and do your BA." So I went to Loyola College of Education, Jamshedpur, did my B.Ed from there, came back. And fortunately, there was a vacancy at St. Xavier's, and I was called for that vacancy. I gave my interview and was selected. Uh, but since then, I have never seen teaching as a profession. It has become a vocation for me. Why I say a vocation? Because if you take it as a profession, I'm not saying it is wrong. Then you measure it by the money that you get. But if you take it as a vocation, as a passion, uh, then it is something different because you touch so many young hearts, you mold so many young hearts.
Exactly.
Therefore, those who take it as the last option, kuch nahi hua to teacher ban gaye, I think they cannot do justice to this noble profession. Uh, it should not be a teacher by chance. It should be a teacher by choice. If
Exactly.
you really want to nurture your clays that you have been given with, I think it should be a teacher by choice. Because when you choose to do something, you give your 100%. So in the school days, my mentor, my guide was Father Phil Hosking, and I was fortunate enough to get a similar guide, similar mentor in my college days. I had Professor Rajiuddin, who was teaching me zoology, and Professor Chandreshwar Prasad, who was teaching me botany. So they too were my ideals because I wanted to, because they were such a knowledgeable person. And any difficulty, any doubt you go with them, they will make you sit with a bit of a paper, piece of paper, a A4 size paper, and explain the thing so lucidly that they will get imbibed by you there and there itself. I thought that if I have taken this as a profession, I should also try something like that. You need not make the student slog over the thing again and again. If you can give the concept clearly, if you can ignite the fire of learning, I think people will learn by themselves. You don't have to tell them to learn. Only the difficulty today is that we are in a process of rote learning, because that is the trend. Rut लो, कुछ समझ में आया नहीं आया, रट लो. But I am against that. If you have the caliber to make your students analyze what they are learning and why they are learning, I think you have done your job. You don't have to do anything else. Uh, as Ranjit mentioned, that I joined in '93, which was a very tender age at that point of time. Just completed my graduation, not even completed my graduation that time. Uh, it was very difficult for me to sit in the staff room, because the teachers who have taught me, how can I share the chairs with them in the staff room, or how can I pick up a cup and take tea with them? So most of the time I would be in the main field, as they call the main oval, with the students, playing cricket, enjoying with them, and they were very friendly. So that time the school was having various clubs, and one of them was the LTS, Leadership Training for Service. So since I am very much interested also with the social works and all, so I chose a group of students to be a part of that LTS. And I can say they were really gems of people whom I interacted with, the young hearts. Uh, so that is how it went on. Teaching, I have never taken it as a burden. I've always enjoyed doing it, because when we come down now, one thing I should admit, that when I started teaching, I was very inexperienced. So I thought of giving all the entire knowledge that I have gathered of any topic, whether it be photosynthesis, or whether it be excretion in human beings, or whether it be respiration. I would try to teach it and give the knowledge of the MSc level. So one day, Father Hosking, who was just monitoring my class, he called me to his office and said, "Son, you teach marvelously well." Uh, I was very uplifted by it. Then he said, "But I would try to tell you something." Yes, Father. Because I was very free with him. So he said, uh, "See, you teach well, but your level of teaching is too high. You have to come down to this level of the students." That was also a turning point in my approach of teaching. To know something is not very important. How you decipher it, how you make your children understand it, is also very important. Then I realized, yes, these are students of, say, 14 years, 13 years. And if I'm teaching them of the standard of a 20-year student, it will not match. So I then started coming down to the level of the students. I then also started sitting by the sides of the students, not being a sage on the stage. As they say, the teacher's job is not to be a sage on the stage, rather than to be a guide by the side. So I started moving between the rows, sit with the students, see what they are writing, how they are writing, what mistakes they are making. And they were very genuine mistakes, because there were certain misconceptions which had been built up over the years. So looking into that, I thought, I should change my style of teaching, and I did. And most of the students who graduate through my hands come and say, yeah, you made a difference. So that gives a booster to work, and the passion to do even more. Uh, so that is how it has been. Once I was there in the school, I never stopped enriching my knowledge. So after having done my what do you call graduation, I did my master's measuring in botany. With my keen interest in genetics, I took the special paper on cytogenetics and plant breeding. Uh, then I thought of doing something on research. So I took up a topic which is called allelopathic influence of Adha toda vasica on growth and survival of turnip. The topic may sound very absurd for many, but why did I choose it? Because I found that I had a neem tree under my in my garden, so I found that the leaves fall down and nothing grows. So I thought that there must be certain alkaloids. So I was in a hunt of finding out a mutagen of biological origin. And therefore, I chose that topic and I did it, defended my thesis well. And ever since then, I'm also thinking of doing some more research work. Uh, but again, to do justice to everything, you need to have quality time. So I want to spend my quality time in handling my students, because they are my assets. I consider them to be my assets. Because once I'd like to say this with you, that uh, when I joined in school, I was also looking after the excursions. I was taking students for excursions to various places. The first excursion that I took was, I don't remember, in the first batch, I think it was your batch, uh, Ranjit, in the year 93 or 94. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there was a boy in your batch called Vishal.
Yes.
Uh, Vishal, yes, yes. So Vishal said that I will help you out. Sir, you don't bother. I will help you out. So I took that group to Puri,
Yes. Yes.
uh,
Exactly.
to the sea
Yeah.
beach, yeah,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And then I learned that practical learning is more important than theoretical learning. Learning is cannot be confined within the four walls of a classroom. The way you interact with people, the way you handle yourself, the way you discipline yourself. When you are out from your family, you have to take a lot of responsibility. And when you are among your own batchmates, you need to learn how to share, how to compromise, how to handle situations when there is something wrong. I saw that when a child who had got a cut in his leg, all the students were worried. They were all barge into him to help. So this is something that is education. Education does not only means learning certain things from the book.
Yes.
I would admit that I was not very good in social science, because I didn't have that social science type of a mind.
Mhm.
So I was very reluctant to study history, because that was like a sleeping pill for me. If I took the history book, started studying, uh, but the way it should be taught, I think there was something that could have been done better. So when I started taking trips for the students for this golden triangle, as they call Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, uh, I started reading for those monuments.
Mhm.
And then I found that history is such a charming subject. You can do, I mean, a lot of things are there in history. So when you show people the various monuments, the various places, then if you take them to a what do you call a bird sanctuary, and you make them understand the way the birds interact, I think you are really doing a better job of teaching, rather than just sitting in a classroom and teaching them. If you take to a seashore and they see the tides coming up and down, so you don't have to teach them anymore, because they
Yes.
have experienced it themselves.
Yes.
So that was there. So I think every institution must foster on these types of learning, that learning by doing, learning by experiencing. uh, I'm very happy that I'm a teacher, and I would be very thankful all my life to Father Hosking, who saw a teacher figure on me, a teacher caliber in me, and encouraged me to join the profession. So that is all about my. If I am rolling back to
Yes.
the past, I can see that. Uh, so that is how it has been, and
Yes.
I think
I think you explained quite well your stay and how it has been over the 40 years out of the 50 years that has passed, that has gone
yeah,
by. And all those 40 years you have been, in one way or the other, nurturing students, and maybe you might have regret that you didn't become a IFS or a forest
no,
service
no, no.
person. But I
I would
think you have created a
I would
lot of
like
scientists,
to
lot of
correct you
engineers,
here.
lot of professionals around. Yes. Who,
I'd just like
who,
to add here.
yeah,
Initially, I thought that way,
yes,
but when I joined in and then started getting the love and affection.
yes,
See, Ranjit, I had never considered myself to be a teacher. I've
yeah,
always considered me myself to be a mentor, a guide
yes,
for my students.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
has been my
Because
approach.
I would tell you one experience that to my knowledge, maybe I was not the one or the fortunate enough to be your student or a full time, like you didn't teach us for a whole class or so, but it was just few interaction when say when Moitra ma'am was not around or some teacher were missing and you were a replacement and we saw you, and on those occasions only we did get a chance to interact with you, uh, especially I can tell of myself, and those were like turning point, and there were some intelligence which was rubbed on us through you, and that has worked for me at least, because I remember as you narrated in your story also that at times you would go to Rajuddin sir and he would just take a paper and just try to explain the concept on a piece of paper, and I would say that it was a mirror experience for us, that once we happened to be at your place and you were explaining some concept, and there was no mobile phone or camera at that time, and you were just taking a notebook from a fellow colleague and you were explaining something, but at the end of the like the session, everybody wanted to had that piece of paper, and that was something that like that like I would say that my drive into teaching and research is also driven by the teachers whom who were there in Javier's and who nurtured us, because that was the starting point. And I think in the formative years or in the years where I would say that there is no disciplinary boundaries. It depends very much upon the teachers that you get. So if you get a good teacher in say history, you would like to love, or you would love that subject to your heart. But there are things that that depends, like your interest is more or less dependent upon how you are being navigated through the subject. So for me it was like more or less that when we met you, we knew you that you are there in the school and you represented someone who was like in between that, a bridge between a teacher and a student. So it was not kind of a hierarchical thing, as you said, that it was not like a sage on the stage, which I keep on mentioning. It was more like a guide on the side, so one who is approachable, who doesn't follow the hierarchy, whom you can go to, and you can talk not only academics, but you can also talk on subject which can be personal in nature. So that way I think you have been excellent uh, person in the uh, in the campus, and that's how we interacted with you. Yes.
I like to add one thing here, Ranjit.
Yes.
I'm very fortunate. People say, "What have you gained till date?" Uh, so I say that I'm the richest person on this earth, bigger than Bill Gates. So, so they laugh at
Great,
me.
great thought. Yes.
So once one of the student who generally they come after they have completed 10th or 12th, they visit me, and I'm very fortunate that they remember after school
Yes.
that there is somebody whom they can go and approach. So he said, Kisar, why do you always say this, that you are richer than the richest person? I'm like, see, Bill Gates is one person, he has earned his own, but I have so many students around me who are my assets. I'm very proud of them. And fortunately, I have been blessed by the Lord that I chose this profession, and I'm surrounded by so many success holders. During the Jubilee year of the school, there was a press conference, and the press reporter asked the then principal that, what is the achievement of your school? The achievement is not the building. The achievements are not the playgrounds.
Yes.
The achievements are people like you, Ranjit. The achievements are the ones who had taken the flag of the school outside and have made it flutter in all parts of the world.
Well,
So there
well
are
said.
people in all corners of of the world, and that is our achievement, and that is my medal. If
Yes.
the end of the day, if I look into what have I gained from being
Yeah.
a teacher,
Yeah.
I would say that
Yeah, you are
I have gained a lot.
totally, I think, correct in saying that we carry a part of Xavier's with us as a part of our personality. So it reflects in whomsoever you meet. Actually,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think more than the educational foundation that we got from Xavier's, we also got as you said, that it's more about how you carry yourself, how empathetic you are towards your fellow being and nature and everything. It reflects the kind of upbringing, I would say, as a second home gave us in the form of Xavier's. Yes.
Uh, Definitely, definitely. Uh, the school has seen a sea change. It was a boys' school, if
Yes.
you remember,
Yeah.
Ranjit, when you were admitted.
Yeah,
And
it was a
when in
boys'
the
school.
year 1993, there was a decision taken
Yes.
under the pressure of some of our teachers,
Yes.
uh, especially to mention Mr. P.M. Singh, who came in your platform
Yes. Yes.
sometimes back,
Yeah.
and Mr. Ramesh, because at that time Carmel has stopped its English medium,
Yes.
and there was no English medium school for girls.
Yes.
And Mr. Ramesh and Mr. P.M. Singh was blessed by daughters, so they wanted St. Davis to become a co-ed.
Exactly.
So Father Michael Ether also wanted that it should become a co-ed and plus two.
Yes.
So but I was the one who opposed it very strongly because I was young at that time and I was not given that much of importance. So I opposed. Then people were saying, why are you opposing? Because I felt at that point of time that uh, boys are a little what do you call more rowdy type of a thing, and they can uh, enjoy more if they are among the boys.
I think
So that
that
was my
notion is
concern.
not no more valid because I think we also thought like there was I remember that there was round of talks between in each class, and Father Michael Ether at that time would go into different classes and would ask, and majority would just raise hand saying that no, we don't want a co-ed at that time. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But
this,
you see, the bringing of the girls to the campus has
yeah,
brought a sea change.
yes,
The behavior of the boys have changed. What do you call? They are more disciplined,
yeah,
and they are more mannered, well mannered, and
yes.
well cultured. I may say, in
Yes.
order to impress the other sex,
Yeah.
they have become more what do you call
I would not
gentlemen.
say just to impress. I would say it's more like uh, when we start interacting in the same way that you find society interacts, it
Yeah,
becomes
no, no, no. My
more of
point.
a better learning and more of
Yes,
like
yes.
you have to
I
coexist uh, with your fellow.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
totally agree with you because it gives a holistic growth.
exactly.
Because if you're in a unisex school, you do not get exposure, so
No,
there's no holistic growth.
no.
So now I think why Father Michael Ether was so keen of
Yes.
bringing the girls to the
Yeah.
campus because it gives you the all-round and holistic growth of your life because
Yeah.
you have to interact with them at some point or the other. When
Yeah.
you do it from your very childhood,
Yes.
you really know how you have to carry yourself and
Yes.
what is the role of what is your role in the society.
Yeah.
So that was there. Then it became a plus two again. That was a sea
Yes.
change there.
Hmm.
So it has grown in numbers. In our
Yes.
time, there were 600 students on the campus.
Yes.
Today, there is approaching 3,000 students on the
Exactly.
campus. So
Yeah.
there's a change. We
Yeah.
had two sections. Now there are four sections. In some classes, there are five sections
Yes.
because there is a demand for education.
Yes.
I would also like to add one thing here
Mm-hmm.
that this is the time of the admission for the plus two 11 standard.
Yes.
So I generally put a simple question before the parents when the ones who are joining for the first time in 11th and 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Why you want your child to get education here? The most common answer that would be is discipline, discipline, and always discipline. But I think they miss out one thing. that is discipline is self-discipline. It should be self-discipline.
Exactly.
What they want to say is the values the school stand for,
Hmm.
but they put it in terms of discipline.
Mm.
But I think it is
More
the
of
values that the
values.
school
Yes.
stands for. And I
Yeah.
think the school will never compromise on its values. As you mentioned, in veritate, it vericate, that is
Yes.
for the good, better of the others,
Mm.
we are striving.
Yes.
And if you see the values that the school stands for are
Mm.
the four C's: the competence, the conscience, the compassion, and the commitment.
Mm.
So if everybody carries with them these four values, the C's,
Yes.
the competence, the compassion, that we need to be compassionate enough today.
Hmm.
And that is visible among all these Zavarians. They are so compassionate. I have never found any of the Zavarians, if you ask for any sort of a help, and if that is possible, they will render it very willingly.
Yes.
So if we are able to inculcate these values in our children, I
Mm.
think we can make a greater difference to
Yes.
make the society, for making men and women for others
Yeah.
and with others.
Yeah. So, just moving a bit ahead in the topic, that you said that at times you opposed co-ed strongly, but I know from you that in your upbringing, the role of your sisters have been very, very crucial. So let's move to the family side of yours and hear about how it is to be in the family setup. Yes, Devrasi.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I was not that experienced. I have not seen the word so closely at that point of time when co-ed was being introduced, because I have studied all my life in a unisex school, that is a boys' school. The St. Xavier's was thoroughly
Yes.
a boys' school,
Yeah.
so I didn't realize how important it is to be educated in a co-ed school, co-ed setup. As you mentioned, the my upbringing, as I mentioned, that I lost my father in a very early age when I just passed class 2 and was in class 3. So it was a financial little jolt in the family all of a sudden. Uh, but that has nothing to do with obviously there was a little bit of a what do you call, financial disturbance there. But we were three, two sisters, one elder to me, one younger to me, and my mother. And I learned the life lesson from them. My two sisters have always been a shield to protect me, uh, to give me the best. Uh, what do you call it? They sacrificed their education on account of my being educated.
Yes.
Uh, as I mentioned, I and my sister both joined Carmel School, and then I joined Xavier's, and she was in Carmel. But because of the financial stress in the family, she had to move to a government school. Uh, and my younger sister was in a government school. I'm not saying that government schools are not good, but they sacrificed their interest for me. And my mother, she single-handedly took care of me, uh, with all the amount of pension that she used to get. A major part of it was spent on my education. So, as I said, if you have any trouble, any difficulty, you just go into the aanchal of your mother
Yeah.
and everything will be sorted out.
Yes.
I never realized where things came from,
Mm-hmm.
because I told that I need this and it was there.
Mm.
But I then learned that simplicity in life is important than show off. Uh,
Exactly.
you
Yes.
have to wear, you need to pull the bed sheet as long as you do not put your legs out of the sheet. You just have to measure it up to that. Family support has been immense.
Yeah.
And what am I today? I can say it is only because of their sacrifices and their support.
So
Till
let's,
date,
yeah, sir, let's navigate
till,
through some of the pictures of the past, and also uh, you can tell about the different people and how it has been in, yeah. So it is kind
yes,
of a
it is.
journey that you have.
These were all the principles under whom either I studied or I worked.
Yes.
The first on the left corner, if you see, is Father Doyer, William Doyer. He
Yes.
had been throughout my schooling at St. Xavier's, right from class 3 to class 10.
Yes.
Then, as I said, the middle one
Mm-hmm.
is Father Phil Hosking, my mentor, my guide, and my
Mm-hmm.
father figure.
Mm-hmm.
To the extreme right on the screen is Father P.J. James, another great person who taught me how to be workaholic. And it is he who wanted me to become the vice principal.
Mm-hmm.
A challenging job to handle the teenagers in a co-ed school, but he had all the trust on me and said, "No, you can do it." And then he handed over me the charge of the vice principalship of the +2 section. Uh, if I am techno savvy, it is only because of him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Father. And the school also saw a sea change in his tenure.
Yes.
The credentials of the schools, the labs, the computers, MindSpark, which is again a mathematics lab, the
Mm-hmm.
language lab, all those has been set up by Father uh, P.J. James.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this gentleman
Okay.
that was handing over me a small
Mm-hmm.
trophy on the sports day is Father Pradeep Shal.
Yes.
He's no more there, but I had a very fond memory of his. I may say that in the year 1993, both of us joined on the same date.
Mm-hmm.
From the right side of the assembly area, a beard person coming, Father Pradeep Shal, from the left side, I'm coming. Both had beards at that time. So
Yes.
that was our signature at that point of time. Father Michael Ether,
Mm-hmm.
who had brought such a great change in the school, making it a co-ed and +2. He said,
Mm-hmm.
schooling does not complete at 10. It should go up till 12.
Great. Yeah.
And I learned a lot from him as well.
Yeah.
And
We were
Father
the first
Slattery,
in 95 to get into this
he,
new +2
yes,
batch.
yes,
Yes.
he started 95. Yeah, the first +2 started in 95.
Yes.
Then you see Father Slattery there. Uh, Very small tenure. He was in the school for just 8 or 9 months. I'm not very sure. But I have always been a fan of him because he was such a great fan of athletes, and I was in the school football team. So that's Father Slattery. Then in the middle you can see Father Tom Keogh. He inspired me in many ways. I do a small course for the new Jesuits, which is
Mm-hmm.
called the teaching methodology. I try to give them some inputs on teaching methodology. And he was the one who trusted me that I can do these things. So that's Father Tom Keogh. He was the secretary of the school for a long time. He has now returned to his hometown, Australia. And then on the right bottom is Father Paul Horan. I
Yeah.
think many people would be an admirer of him for
Yes.
the
Yes.
amount of discipline that he inculcated in the
Yes.
students.
Yes.
So,
And we were one of them. It was because of two reasons. At that time, this interactive English course was a new introduction by
yeah, yeah,
CBSE. And the other thing
yeah.
was that he was also the vice principal at that time, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so it was a great to see him around and the way he carries himself and the discipline that he brought to the campus. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So all those are great people. You are great. You have got that picture also. This is my LTS group.
Yes.
Uh, Very fond memories of them. This was the LTS camp that took place in Patna.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Christine is there kneeling down. She was really great soul. I mean, if I have learned any social work, it is because of her. The way she used to explain things. Uh, I'm getting nostalgia by looking at these pictures. Yes. Uh, One of them you can see, Harshvardhan, is now in New Zealand. He is an occupational therapist there. Uh,
Yes, he was our senior, 94 batch, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
So
Prabhat is there, the
yeah,
goalkeeper.
yeah.
Then Anirudh Chatterjee is there. All great people are there. Yes. Uh, the trio who had been an instrument in my upbringing and in my position that I'm today.
Yes.
Middle, my mother and my two sisters. And this photograph was clicked by Father Pradeep Shal.
Oh, that's okay.
And this is my brother figure, a
Yes.
great help for me in the school. Whenever I have any difficulty, I just approach him and I get a solution to work with. Mr. Rajat Nag. I missed out this great lady, my mother figure. I lost my mother, and thereafter she has always been my mother figure. Also in the school,
Yes.
all my interest in biology has been inculcated because of her presence,
Yeah. I
Mrs.
would say
Moitri.
that we were fortunate enough to have her as a biology teacher. And she was the one who taught us biology in plus two also, if I remember.
Yeah, yeah. She always waits for me, gives me asks me to come and go and have a long chat with her.
Hmm.
Uh, Really, these are great people who have molded me and brought me in the shape that I am today. I have all my in-depthness to them. Oh, great.
This was the time you looked
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you started, if I'm
This
not
was
wrong.
when I started. Yeah, this is when I
And this is
started.
how you look now.
This is how I am today.
Yeah. So I am just stopping sharing the screen and then we will end. But before we end, we would like to hear your thoughts about the fellow students who are there around the world. What are your words for them who are carrying in their heart a part of
I,
JVS with them? Yes.
I would like to sum it up in one statement
Yes.
that there is a greater joy in giving than receiving. I repeat it.
Exactly.
There is a greater joy in giving than receiving. I would always like my uh, fellow students whom I have taught, whom I have
Mm.
mentored, whom I have tried to shape the way they are to give to the society.
Yes.
My appeal to them is you just reach out to people, because when you reach out to people, you really enjoy yourself. And that is the worth of being a human being.
Great.
So, my folded hand request, suggestion, order, command, dictate would be
Yes.
there is a greater joy in giving than receiving.
Yes. And the other thing that I want to hear from you is that we are going through a difficult time, and yes, we are interacting, but in a very different way. It was like we were not fortunate enough. We are the 95 batch. We would have our silver jubilee celebration last year, but it wasn't there. So, any special message for the students of 95 uh, who were also the first batch who did their plus two in 97? Yes.
Uh, Ranjit, I would like to say that that batch was a real they have taught me. They have taught me uh,
Yes.
because I joined in '93 when you were the senior most in the school,
Yes.
uh, and then you went into the plus two. So really, I have a lot of connections with that batch, 95 batch, 93 you call or
Mm.
95 you say.
Yes.
I have a lot of connections with them. My only thing is that I missed you. I love you all, and
We
I
all
want to
will be
see you
there
physically.
when the time is right. We all will be there. I
Yeah,
promise you.
and it was
Yes.
very unfortunate that we could not
Meet in
call you
person.
back
Yes.
home.
Yes.
It is. I say that this is not the only Jubilee celebration. It is
Mm.
coming back home
Yes.
and seeing the things and going through it along with your family.
Yes.
This is the place where I did this. This is the place where I created that mischief.
Yes.
So it is a homecoming back with your family.
Yes. Yes.
Looking forward to see you. Keep
Mhm.
well. And at this time of pandemic, my appeal to all the 95, not only the 95 batch, but all those who are there at various
Yes.
positions, be it in the field of medicine, be it
Mhm.
in the field of administration, I would appeal to each one of you that if you find a way to help anyone, please reach out to them, because the present situation is so tensed and so scary that with your help, with your support, with your involvement only, we can fight out this pandemic.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Thank you.
also very thankful to you, Ranjit, for calling me up here
Yeah, we
and
are fortunate to have you on this platform, sir. And
having giving me a platform to share my
yes,
views.
it has been a long gap of more than 23, 25 years, and we would like to connect to the roots in some way or the other and reach out to our fellow student. And from this platform, I am telling that whomsoever inspired to be, or we are open to help everybody through uh, a networking platform that is in place and will expand a little bit in the form of knowledgeance. And our idea is to give back in whatever form. As sir said, we are just following on the footsteps of our fellow teacher and friend. So thank you, Devras sir, for coming and enlightening us today. It was a lot of uh, things that we didn't know about you, and your own journey and struggle, and the way you navigated into your career path will be inspiration to many. With this, I would like to again thank from the team of Knowledgeans. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you
Thank you
very much.
so much. Thank you so much. And be
Thank
connected.
you.
Be
Thank you, sir.
radiant and stay connected. Be radiant and stay connected. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you, sir.